Hello dear students and welcome to the second lesson in the new series of English lessons on the أونروا Satellite TV channel. Welcome back. Dear students, we express past actions by using the past simple and the past continuous tenses. If you are interested in learning about the past simple and the past continuous tenses, follow us in today's lesson, past simple and past continuous. So our lesson today is past simple and past continuous. In this part, dear students, we are handling the past simple tense. Let's learn about the past simple by reading about our friend طارق. Let's read about طارق. طارق couldn't sleep. He listened to the sounds from the street. He smelled the flowers from the garden. And he felt the warm air in his room. Everything was familiar. He was living again in the house where he was born. But it was also very different from his old home in Canada. Then he thought again about the next morning, his first day at his new school. Was he excited or nervous? He didn't know. He was thinking of his new school when he fell asleep. Now, dear students, let's read about طارق again. طارق couldn't sleep. He listened to the sounds from the street. He smelled the flowers from the garden. And he felt the warm air in his room. Everything was familiar. He was living again in the house where he was born. But it was also very different from his old home in Canada. Then he thought again about the next morning, his first day at his new school. Was he excited or nervous? He didn't know. He was thinking of his new school when he fell asleep. Now, after we have read about طارق, let's have a closer look on some sentences. Sentence number 1, طارق couldn't sleep. Again, طارق couldn't sleep. The second sentence, he listened to the sounds from the street. He listened to the sounds from the street. The third sentence, he smelled the flowers from the garden. He smelled the flowers from the garden. Now, dear students, is طارق smelling the flowers now? Is he smelling the flowers now? Of course not. Did he smell the flowers in the past? Of course, yes. Here, he smelled the flowers from the garden. Let's have extra sentences. Look at this sentence. Yesterday, I went shopping. Yesterday, I went shopping. The verb here is went. Am I shopping now? Of course not. I'm explaining an English lesson. So this is a past action. Let's have another sentence. I bought a new jacket. I bought a new jacket. I bought a new jacket. When? Am I buying now? Of course not. Here, I bought yesterday when I went shopping. Let's have a closer look at these two sentences. Here, yesterday, I went shopping and I bought a new jacket. Here, dear students, we have two actions. I went and I bought. Of course, the two actions went and bought happened yesterday. So here, I went and I bought yesterday. Here, dear students, we come to the use of the past simple. Why do we use past simple? Let's go to the next slide in order to figure out. Here, why do we use past simple? Why do we use past simple? Let's read together. We use the past simple tense to express an action that is started and ended at a particular time in the past. So, dear students, when we talk about something that is started in the past and ended up in the past, of course, we use the past simple tense. Let's go on. طارق listened to the sounds from the street. طارق listened to the sounds from the street. As we said before, Tariq listened in the past. He's not listening now. Let's read the second sentence. I went shopping yesterday. I went yesterday. Here, dear students, let's look at these two verbs. The first verb, listened, and the second verb, which is went. What do you notice here? Listened. Here, the verb ends up with ed. But there, went is another form of the verb. This leads us to the way we form past simple tense. How do we form past simple? Let's go on to figure out. How do we form past simple? Dear students, in the English verbs, we have two types. Here, let's look at listened and went. The first verb, which is listened, we call it regular verb. A regular verb. But went, it's an irregular verb. Went is an irregular verb. Let's have a closer look on the way we form the past simple. First, we have the regular verbs. Regular verbs. In the first form, in the present simple, in the base form, we have verbs like play, like, help, and watch. These verbs are in the base form. How do we form the past simple from these verbs? The first verb, play, we have played, like, liked, help, helped, and watch, watched. So, dear students, these verbs, played, liked, helped, and watched, are the past form, the past simple of these verbs. Again, play, played, like, liked, help, helped, and watch, watched. Here, dear students, to form past simple of regular verbs, we add even D or ED at the end of the verb. Here we added only D because the E is present in the verb. Let's learn how to form the past simple of the irregular verbs. Here, in the irregular verbs, we have eat, go, hit, and drink. These are the base verbs. Eat, go, hit, and drink. How do we form the past simple out of these verbs? Let's look together. Here, eat, ate. Go, went. Hit, hit, as it is. Drink, drank. What do you notice, dear students? Wonderful. With the irregular verbs, the shape of the verb has two possibilities. Even the form of the verb changes or it stays as it is. Here, eat, ate. Go, went. The shape of the verb changes. Hit, hit. It stays as it is. Drink, drank. Okay, let's go on. Positive or negative? Dear students, for the past simple tense sentences, we have positive forms and negative forms. Let's learn about the positive form of the past simple and the negative form of the past simple. Let's read these two sentences. The first sentence, Basim finished his English homework early this morning. Basim finished his English homework early this morning. What about you? Here, Basim finished his English homework. Did you finish your own English homework? I advise you to finish it now. Okay, let's get back to our sentence. Basim finished his English homework early this morning. Is Basim doing his homework now? Of course not. He finished his homework early in the morning. Let's look at the form of this sentence. Is it in the affirmative form, in the positive form or in the negative one? Basim finished. Of course, it's in the positive form. Let's look at this sentence. Basim did not finish his English homework early this morning. Again, Basim did not finish. This sentence, of course, is in the negative form. Let's have other sentences. Hiba tidied up her room yesterday. Hiba tidied up her room yesterday. Look here. Hiba didn't tidy up her room yesterday. Of course, dear students, as you see here, the first sentence is in the positive form. Hiba tidied up her room. In the second sentence, Hiba didn't tidy up her room. Here, dear students, how do we form the negative and the positive forms of the past simple? How do we form the negative or the positive forms of the past simple? Let's go on in order to figure it out. The negative past. In the negative past, dear students, we have the form like this. The subject plus did not or didn't plus the base verb. Again, the subject plus did not or didn't plus the base verb. Let's have an example. Here, Ola didn't eat. Ola didn't eat. Here, dear students, Ola is the subject, didn't is the helping verb with not, eat is the base verb. Is this form negative or positive? Of course, it's a negative form because we have did not or didn't. Let's go on. Did Omar do his homework? Did Omar do his homework? Did you do your homework? Do it now. Okay. Now, let's have a closer look on this question. Did Omar do? Is this a question or a sentence? Of course, it's a question here. Did Omar do? What tense is this question? Here, dear students, we have did. Did Omar do? So how do we form questions in the past simple? How do we form questions in the past simple? Let's go on. Here, how do we form questions in the past simple? Look here. We form the questions like this. Did plus the subject plus the base verb plus the question mark. Again, did plus the subject plus the base verb plus the question mark. Let's have an example. Here, did you go? Did you go? Here we have did at the very beginning of the question. We have the subject, then we have the base verb. This is how we form questions in the past simple tense. Now, dear students, it's time to practice. Let's practice together. The first activity we have is choose the correct answer. Choose the correct answer. Last week, my parents me a laptop. Last week, my parents buy, bought, or buys. Take care that we say last week. Last week. It's a past time. So, buy, bought, or buys. What do you think? Wonderful. Excellent. Here, last week, my parents bought me a laptop. It's the past simple form. Let's go on. 2 months ago, we to a new house near the beach. 2 months ago, we moving, we move, or we moved. What do you think? 2 months ago. Great. We moved. So 2 months ago, we moved to a new house near the beach. The next one. Did you the dishes after breakfast? Did you the dishes after breakfast? Here, did you washed? Did you wash? Or did you washing? Don't forget that, dear students, here we have a question. And we found the question in the past simple by using did, the subject, and the base form of the verb. Here, did you washed, wash, or washing? Wonderful. Here, did you wash? Did you wash the dishes after breakfast? Why wash? Because we used did at the very beginning of the question. Let's go on. Yesterday, I to the market with my friends. Yesterday, I to the market with my friends. I go, I went, or I gone. Yesterday. Wonderful. Yesterday, I went to the market with my friends. Where did you go yesterday? Did you go to the market? Okay, let's go on. Yasser, his homework in the morning. Yasser, his homework in the morning. Yasser finished, Yasser finish, or Yasser finishing. Great, wonderful. Here, Yasser finished his homework in the morning. It's the past form sentence. So far, dear students, we have learned about the past simple and we have talked about the form and the use of the past simple tense. Now, it's time to handle the past continuous tense. But after this short break. Let's have a short break, then we get back after it. Welcome back. Now, dear students, it's time to handle the past continuous tense. And in this part, we are going to learn about the use and the form of the past continuous. Let's read this story in order to learn about the past continuous tense. Let's read a story. One day, a lion was walking through the forest when he stepped on a thorn. It was hurting a lot. He was crying in pain and he was limping along the forest. While he was crying in pain, he saw a group of shepherds. They were singing when he walked near them. The shepherds noticed the thorn and helped the lion. Now, dear students, let's read this story again. One day, a lion was walking through the forest when he stepped on a thorn. It was hurting a lot. He was crying in pain and he was limping along the forest. While he was crying in pain, he saw a group of shepherds. They were singing when he walked near them. The shepherds noticed the thorn and helped the lion. Now, dear students, after we have read this story for 2 times, let's have a closer look on some sentences. Here, a lion was walking through the forest. A lion was walking through the forest. Let's go on. The thorn was hurting a lot. The thorn was hurting a lot. The lion was crying in pain. The lion was crying in pain. Is the lion crying now? Is it crying now? Of course not. Will he be crying in the future? We don't know. Was he crying in the past? Of course, yes. Here, the lion was crying in pain. Let's have extra sentences. The lion was limping along the forest. The lion was limping along the forest. Let's go on. The shepherds were singing. The shepherds were singing. Are they singing now? Of course not. They were singing in the past. Let's have more sentences. Let's go on. I was reading a book at 10 p.m. yesterday. I was reading a book at 10 p.m. yesterday. Here we have the past. There we have the present. In this timeline, we have only the past. 8 p.m., 10 p.m., 12 p.m. Here, I was reading a book at 10 p.m. So here, at 10 p.m., the action of reading was going on. Am I reading now? Of course not. I'm explaining an English lesson. So the action happened when? Of course, in the past. Now, dear students, let me ask you a question. Why do we use past continuous? Why do we use past continuous? Do you know? Okay, let's learn together. Here in the question, why do we use the past continuous? Number 1, to emphasize an ongoing action in the past. To stress or emphasize an action that was going on, that was continuous in the past. Let's go on. He was eating. He was eating. What tense is this sentence? He was eating. This sentence is in the past continuous. Okay. Is this sentence in the affirmative form or in the negative one? What do you think? Wonderful. It's in the affirmative form. Let's learn how to form affirmative sentences in the past continuous. Here, I, he, she, and it. These are singular pronouns. And also, we can use singular nouns plus was plus the main verb plus the ing. This is the positive form of the past continuous sentences. Again, I, he, she, it plus was plus the base verb plus the ing. This is the positive form. Okay, what about plural subjects? If the subject is a plural, like they, you, we use were plus the base verb plus the ing. Again, if the subject is a plural, like the pronouns they, you, we, or with the plural nouns, like John and Jack, for example, we use were plus the base verb plus the ing. Let's look at the sentence here. They were eating. They were eating. Of course, dear students, this structure is in the positive form, in the affirmative form. What about the negative form? Let's go on. Here, he wasn't eating. He wasn't eating. Is this sentence in the affirmative or in the negative form? In the positive or in the negative form? Look, dear students, here we have he wasn't, he was not eating. This is the structure of the negative form of the past continuous. Look here, with singular subjects like I, he, she, it, Muhammad, Ahmad, etc., we use wasn't or was not plus the base verb plus the ing. Again, with singular subjects like the pronouns I, he, she, it, or with any singular noun, we use wasn't or was not plus the base verb plus the ing. Let's get back to the sentence again. He wasn't eating. What about the plural subjects? Let's look here. They, you, we, plus weren't or were not plus base verb plus the ing. Again, they, you, we, weren't or were not plus the base verb plus the ing. For example, they weren't eating. You were not eating. We were not eating. This is the negative form of the past continuous tense. Now, what about the question form of the past continuous? Let's go on. Look here. Was your father eating? Was your father eating? This is a question. Here, we form the question of the past continuous like this. Was plus the subject I, he, she, or it, a singular subject, plus the main verb plus the ing. Again, was, I, he, she, it, a singular subject, plus the base verb plus the ing. For example, was he eating? Was I eating? Was the cat eating? And so on. What about the plural form? In the plural form, we use were plus plural subject plus the base verb plus the ing. For example, were they eating? Were you eating? Were we eating? Were you eating? Okay, let's go on to practice what we have talked about. In this activity, we have make sentences in the past continuous. Make sentences in the past continuous. Look here. My father read a story. My father read a story. Make a past continuous sentence. Who can make it? Wonderful, thank you very much. Here, my father was reading a story. My father was reading a story. Here, my father is a singular subject, so that we use the helping verb was plus the main verb plus the ing. Let's go on. They have lunch in the restaurant. They have lunch in the restaurant. In the past continuous, they were having lunch in the restaurant. They were having lunch in the restaurant. Were you having lunch in the restaurant? Good for you. Let's go on. I work hard in the shop. I work hard in the shop. Let's look at the past continuous sentence. I was working hard in the shop. I was working hard on the shop. Now, dear students, let's look at the following sentences. Study the following sentences. Here, I was driving home when I saw a car accident. I was driving home when I saw a car accident. How many actions do we have, dear students? Of course, we have two actions. The first action, I was driving home when I saw a car accident. Was driving is the first action, which is always the longer action. So is the second action, which is the shorter action. Dear students, the past continuous can be also used to express two actions in the past. Let's go on. I was driving home when I saw a car accident. Look at the timeline here. This is the past timeline. I was driving in the past and I saw the accident also in the past. Here, dear students, in this sentence we have two actions. Was driving, which is the longer action, and I saw, which is the shorter action. Let's have a closer look on the following sentence. We were waiting for the bus when we saw a car accident. We were waiting for the bus when we saw a car accident. Look here, in the timeline we have the past, the present, which is now, and the future. The two actions, were waiting and saw, took place in the past. Took place or happened in the past. Here we have past continuous action, which is were waiting, and we have past simple action, which is saw. Dear students, the longer action is always in the past continuous, and the shorter one is in the past simple. Now, dear students, let's go on to practice. Here, past simple or past continuous. Past simple or past continuous. 2 years ago, Sammy was went in a visit to some historical places in Syria. 2 years ago, Sammy was went in a visit to some historical places in Syria. What do you think? Excellent, wonderful. He went in a visit to some historical places in Syria. While Ali was played football, he twisted his ankle. While Ali was played football, he twisted his ankle. What do you think? Great, wonderful. While Ali was playing, he twisted his ankle. My parents were watching TV when I was opening or when I opened the door. What do you think? My parents were watching TV when I was opening or when I opened the door. Wonderful, great. When I opened the door. When I opened the door. Now, dear students, it's time for you to practice. Now, this project is for you to do at home. Ask and tell. Ask your family members about what they were doing yesterday at 8 p.m. Use past simple and past continuous. Again, this is your homework. Try to focus on it. Ask your family members about what they were doing yesterday at 8 p.m. Use past simple and past continuous. For example, I can ask my brother, what were you doing yesterday at 8 p.m.? And he might answer, I was watching TV. Now, it's your turn to ask your family members and to write down their responses. So far, dear students, we have come to the end of our lesson. I hope the lesson was interesting and beneficial for you at the same time. Until I see you next time, have a good day and goodbye.